With my old camera, this would look creepy. With this camera, it just looks beautiful and like high definition and in focus, and it's just, yeah. A few weeks back, I was staying over at my mate's place, and she doesn't live on a farm exactly, but she's on an acreage, so they still have chickens and lambs. And I was lying there trying to get to sleep, and I just couldn't. There were too many bird noises. You know, your typical natural, peaceful noises. And I was just lying there thinking, I wish I was back in my own bed where it's peaceful and quiet. So here's a list of those things. That I can hear when I'm staying here in my bedroom. Cars speeding past at midnight, the occasional burnout, fighter planes and jet planes flying overhead, headed to one of the 2 local naval bases, helicopters headed overhead, headed to a naval base or the hospital just up the road, or just news helicopters, ambulances headed to the hospital just up the road. That way is a racing track. So you hear crowds, revving, screeching tyres, and the noise of cars racing. So racetrack that way, hospital that way, concert venue that way. So one time there was a Susie Quattro concert pumping through the town. I mean, we're talking other end of the town here and you could still hear it. I don't know why people bought tickets. You could just sit nearby and listen to the whole thing. You get the occasional drunkard walking up the street. There's been the occasional woman screaming at sort of 2 in the morning somewhere along our street. And of course there's Percy the possum who lives in our roof. But it's interesting, isn't it, that those sounds, because they're familiar, make me feel at ease. Not necessarily women screaming and being kicked out of their homes at 2 in the morning, but there's still something peaceful about regular sounds that you're used to hearing. So birds chirping and lambs going bah early in the morning at the crack of dawn. But people doing burnouts and donuts at the crack of dawn doesn't faze me.